Namaskar, welcome to Satya Skills. In this video, let us learn something about fixed deposits. Fixed deposits are also called time deposits, term deposits, and time liabilities. Fixed deposits are accepted by banks for a fixed period of time. In other words, money in fixed deposits is deposited for a fixed period which may range from 40 days to 5 years in India. In other countries, they also accept for 7 days minimum. Money cannot be withdrawn before the expiry of fixed period. They are also called time deposits because the withdrawal of money is subject to a time period or a notice, but not on demand like current accounts. Banks pay high rate of interest on fixed deposits. The longer the period of deposits, higher will be the rate of interest because fixed deposits contribute to the capital of the bank. Investors who prefer risk-free investments with moderate return prefer fixed deposits in India. In times of emergency, banks provide loan facilities against fixed deposits. Fixed deposit receipt. Banks issue a receipt to the depositor acknowledging the deposit held by the bank. The receipt is only evidence. Then, if the deposit receipt is lost, then what? When the deposit receipt is lost or destroyed, banker cannot hold the payment or cannot reject the demand for payment by the depositor on the date of maturity of the deposit. Banker can provide a duplicate receipt on the request of the depositor. Before issuing duplicate, banker obtains an indemnity bond signed by the depositor. And fixed deposit receipt is not transferable to other persons because it is not a negotiable instrument. The term not transferable is specially written on the fixed deposit receipt. As it is not a negotiable instrument, transferee will not get better title. Receipts are exempted from stamp duty. One more thing is that checks are not permitted to claim deposit amount just like current accounts. Fixed deposit holders cannot draw checks against the fixed deposits to draw money from the account after the stipulated date. Depositor can transfer the amount to his current account to draw checks. Deposit money can be transferred only after the date of maturity of the deposit. Legal position of the banker in this regard is debtor. It continues after the expiry of fixed date if the amount in the account is not withdrawn by the customer. Banker does not become trustee of undrawn fixed deposits though he does not pay interest on deposit amount after the expiry of the deposit account. Banker cannot exercise lien on fixed deposit account. He can set off fixed deposit against another account, that also with the prior permission of the or agreement with the customer. If fixed deposit receipt is offered as a security for a bank loan and is duly signed by the depositor, banker can exercise lien on fixed deposits. It is common practice among banks to pay interest on fixed deposits along with the principal amount on the due date. Some depositors make arrangements to draw interest on quarterly basis. Usually banks provide such facility on long-term deposits which are for 5 years or more. Customer is allowed to draw only interest. Bankers transfer interest amount to the current account of the depositors. Nomination facility is provided to fixed deposits also. Nomination can be made in favor of one individual only. If nominee is a minor, another individual is appointed to receive the money on behalf of the minor. It is important to note that bankers should not accept two nominees for a single account. Then fixed deposit in joint names. Two or more persons can jointly open a fixed deposit account. All should sign on the application. Banks obtain clear instructions in written form about the payment of deposit amount on the due date. In the absence of such instructions, bankers should pay only when the fixed deposit receipt is surrendered by all the account holders who signed on the application. Fixed deposit can be attached to the income tax due from the customer. Income Tax Act 1961 empowers supply notices to inform the banks about the amount due from the assessee who holds fixed deposit account. The bank should obey the notice or order of income tax authorities and pay the amount of fixed deposit to the concerned officers as directed by the notice. Fixed deposit and law of limitation. Law of limitation is applicable to fixed deposit from the due date on which the depositor submits fixed deposit receipt to the banker for payment. Otherwise, the law applies from the expiry date of the deposit. That's all about fixed deposits.